Krypton Factor now. America's hardest bounty hunters relish the jobs even the police won't touch next. And if you missed it the first time around, you've a chance to catch Most Haunted's live encounter at Dover Soul Castle later.
I'm Andy Bruno, aged 32, and a sales executive from Manchester.
I'm Richard Wallace, aged 25, a recreation management student from Nottingham.
I'm Marion Chanter, aged 32, a baker from Lostwithiel in Cornwall.
I'm Niall Laverty, I'm aged 26, I'm a computer programmer from Belfast.
Good evening and a very warm welcome to the third and last heat in our Group A section. By the end of tonight's contest, we shall know the complete lineup for next week's Group Final. Already there, of course, are Bank Manager Peter Wally from Heat 1 and Lecturer Peter Crosby from Heat 2. And they'll be joined in that Group Final by the winner of tonight's heat, plus, of course, the best runner-up of the group. And at the moment, Paola Fabrizi from Heat 1 is the highest scoring runner-up with a Krypton Factor of 34. So that's an extra target for tonight's contestants. Now, I know they're very anxious to get started, so let me now wish all of them, Andy Bruno, Richard Wallace, Marion Chanter and Niall Laverty, the very best of luck. And contestants, would you please put on your headphones now as we go into the first tough round. And tonight's first test will feature a series of these car registration numbers. Now this one is appropriately marked GHB, which happens to be my initials, and 162, the number of Krypton Factor programs that have been transmitted over the last 11 years. Now, if I was to put this down, could you tell me now what the sum total of the numbers were, and also could you rearrange the letters into alphabetical order? Done it? Well, the answer should be 9BGH. 9, because that's the total of 162, and BGH, because that's GHB rearranged into alphabetical order. So, that then is the style of the round, but this is a speed test. The contestants must get as many right as they can in 50 seconds. We're going to start with Andy. If you're ready, Andy, your 50 seconds start now. LHK 635.
11 HKL.
Wrong. TEF 598.
22 TEF.
Wrong. RSB 793.
19 BRS.
JXU 162.
9 JUX.
HTD 459.
18 DHT.
SWO 538.
16 OSW.
ULQ 372.
12.
That's it, your time is up, and at the end of your 50 seconds you have scored 4, Andy. And now we move on to you, Richard. Your 50 seconds start now. TBH 765.
18 BHT.
GSK 482.
14 GKS.
WJO 836.
17 JOW.
SEB 587.
20 BES.
IBK 384.
15 BIK.
TFD 751.
13
Time's up, I'm afraid, and in your 50 seconds you scored 5. Well done, Richard. On we go to Marion. Your 50 seconds start now. LAK 691.
16 AKL.
TFH 327.
12 FHT.
PGS 839.
20 GPS.
DOF 473.
14 DFO.
TCP 537.
15 CPT.
KDL 849.
21 DKL.
CT, and that's it, your time's up. In 50 seconds, you got 6 right. Well done, Marion. And finally, we move on to you, Niall. Your 50 seconds start now. KEC 642.
12 CEK.
VFP 798.
24 FPV.
RAS 583.
16 ARS.
TES 391.
13 EST.
UCP 287.
17 CPU.
KIR 541.
10 IKR.
HPD 679.
22 DHP.
WFO 714.
12
No time to finish, but at the end of your 7, and that means that in fact, Niall, you're the winner of the round. Well done. And there's such an important factor in the first round, but they all cope with it so well. And reminding you, it's 10 points, 6 points, 4 points and 2 for first, second, third and fourth. Let's go to the scoreboard to get the complete picture at the end of the first round. And in fourth place it was Andy Bruno, who has 2 points. Third place Richard Wallace with 4 points. Second place Marion Chanter with 6 points. But the early leader with a Krypton Factor of 10 is the computer programmer from Belfast, Niall Leverty. It's into tracksuits now for the contestants, and for tonight's response round, it's back to those arm and leg ergometers and the 64-screen video wall reflex test. And the precise challenge of that video wall for this heat is to determine whether red, green, yellow or blue is the predominant colour displayed around the border each time a mixture is flashed up on the screens. Now, for example, here you see 5 blues, 3 greens, 3 reds and 3 yellows around the border. So the answer is blue. Now the contestants have the additional problem of striking the correspondingly coloured button to register their decision. Now if they get it right in the time allowed, then scores appear in the 4 screens which now show zeros. Now this, I can assure you, is a really tough test, but our contestants are now ready to take it on. So contestants, on your marks, go. And they leap onto their exercise bikes to begin a race that will be decided not by the speed they move their arms and legs, but by the greatest level of arm-leg coordination achieved. Now, with their eyes flicking between 2 speedometers, they must try to achieve a constant speed of 50 revolutions per minute pedalling forwards with their legs and 30 revs per minute pedalling backwards with their arms. An onboard computer controls the speed of the chariot in relation to the level of coordination achieved. If you maintain the 50-30 rate, you travel at maximum speed, but the greater the degree of error, the slower you go. And it's Marion in yellow just in the lead as she rushes towards the video wall. Pretty close for second place between Niall Leverty in blue and Andy Bruno in red, Richard Wallace fourth. Now remember, it's the screens around the perimeter that are important here. Each time the colours flash up, decide which colour predominates. So at that time it was yellow, the K's mean stand by, and that was the answer, blue. The object is to score 10 hits. The first to get 10 will win the round. Richard draws level with Marion, 5-all. Now Richard and Marion both need just the one. Is this it? No, incredibly, they both missed it. Tension setting in. But they get there this time. They tie the round. That's 10 points for Marion and 10 points for Richard. And Niall has crept up to snatch third place. 4 points. A good race there, and with two contestants tying, that's going to make very interesting reading when we transfer those points into the scoreboard. We'll do that right away. And indeed, we've got two contestants now sharing second place with 14 points, but a new leader with a Krypton Factor of 16, the baker from Lostwithiel, Cornwall, Marion Chanter. Well, I know from your letters that this is the round in which whole families, from grannies to granddaughters, like to compete against each other, so have another go now. We're about to show our contestants 2 takes of a specially shot drama scene. The challenge is to pick out the 5 changes that occur in the second take. Right, contestants, will you now please turn quickly and face your screens as we go downtown to the Tallahassee bar in take 1 and take 2. Take 1.
It's really nice of you to bring us here, Robert. I've never been in an American bar before.
The service you get here is really spectacular.
It will be if you don't stop shaking that can of lager up and down.
It's not a can of lager, Dad. It's a cocktail shaker. That's what most people drink here, cocktails.
I think you better order for us, Robert.
Are you ready?
Yes, we'll have 2 Tallahassee tonsil ticklers and an Alabama hammer. Dad?
2 Tallahassee tonsil ticklers and an Alabama hammer. What kind of an order's that?
You don't have to have that, Dad. Just pick what you want.
What do you do with that? Drink it or prune it?
This is an American bar, Dad. To them, a drink should be a visual experience, too. The decoration of the Alabama suggests sunshine, colour, and the ambiance of the Deep South.
Well, I'll have a pint of mild then, love. Pint of mild, eh? I'd like to see him put a, ambulance on that.
Take 2.
It's really nice of you to bring us here, Robert. I've never been in an American bar before.
The service you get here is really spectacular.
It will be if you don't stop shaking that can of lager up and down.
It's not a can of lager, Dad. It's a cocktail shaker. That's what most people drink here.
I think you better order for us, Robert.
Are you ready?
Yes, we'll have 2 Tallahassee tonsil ticklers and an Alabama hammer. Dad?
2 Tallahassee tonsil ticklers and an Alabama hammer. What kind of an order's that?
You don't have to have that, Dad. Just pick what you want.
What do you do with that? Drink it or prune it?
This is an American bar, George. To them, a drink should be a visual experience, too. The decoration of the Alabama suggests sunshine, colour, and the ambiance of the Deep South.
Well, I'll have a pint of mild then, love. Pint of mild, eh? I'd like to see him put a, ambulance on that.
That's the lot. Contestants, would you now turn to the front, please, and write down on the answer cards provided what you think the 5 changes were. And while they're concentrating on that, you can check your own answers now as we show you precisely what those 5 changes were. Here they are. First, the menus. In take 1, on the left of the bar, 2 cocktail menus. But in take 2, they had disappeared. Then a dialogue change.
That's what most people drink here, cocktails.
But in take 2, no cocktails.
That's what most people drink here.
Number 3 was the red bow in the waitress's hair. In take 2, it was a white one. The fourth change, no order pad on the tray in take 1, but in take 2, it was clearly visible. And finally, a name change.
This is an American bar, Dad.
But it wasn't Dad in take 2.
This is an American bar, George.
Well, did you get all 5? The contestants, I can tell you, did not. I have their answer cards in front of me. But they all did equally in that they all got 2 right, which means they all get 4 points. And if we go to the scoreboard, obviously it means no change in the overall situation. The leader still, with a Krypton Factor now of 20, is the baker from Cornwall, Marion Chanter.
Just doing my rounds, checking everything's okay. What the? Hello, hello. Is Spiky here, a new member of the family? I wasn't consulted on this.
Have you tried Andrex aloe vera? Every single sheet is enriched with gentle aloe vera.
I'm putting my foot down to make sure we keep some of that for my lot.
Try Andrex aloe vera.
Yeah.
I'm winding my way back home. Right up into your back door.
The IKEA winter sale, now on.
When is a good deal not a good deal on car insurance?
When I'm not rewarded for my careful driving, just because I've been on Mum's policy.
At Direct Line, all named drivers can build up a no-claims discount for when they need a policy of their own.
That's better.
Go online for a 10% discount. Direct Line, a good deal better.
Excuse me, you come on have a chat? You got 1 minute? You got a couple of minutes for a chat?
Do you want to lay your head on my shoulder? I don't mind if you cry. Sometimes we all just need to let it out.
It's just feel like crying sometimes.
Your smile is a pleasant change from before when you thought that you wouldn't take anymore. Sometimes we all just need to let
Out we go now to the assault course, some 20 obstacles packed tightly down 450 yards of Lancashire moorland, built specially for the Krypton Factor at an army camp. One of the toughest courses in the country.
on your marks!
And Major Terry Hammond of the Army Physical Training Corps sets Marion Chanter on her way. Marion from Lostwithiel in Cornwall has her own business with her husband, making Cornish pasties and pies. She's also into karate. She's a 4th Q. That's nicely over the rope swing. She really believes in herself and is determined to win this race. She's set her heart on it. Now Andy Bruno in red, equally determined to win. He's from Manchester. On the far side, Ulsterman Niall Laverty, and in green, Richard Wallace. No trouble at all over the rope swing for Andy Bruno. Marion setting quite a hot pace at the moment, going towards the A-frame. And Andy Bruno up onto that 6-foot wall. You'll see how it goes down a foot every time it changes direction. It's quite unnerving up there. But Marion in tremendous form as she goes through the water jump. She's judged this race beautifully and she's way out in front of these two, Andy Bruno and Richard Wallace, now level with Andy. In fact, just beginning to go ahead of him. Tremendous athlete, Richard. He's in second place, but Marion looking very strong indeed as she comes to the top of the aerial slide. Slips those hands through the safety loops and begins the descent down to the water and mud at the end. She was absolutely determined to win this race, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Lifts the feet up and plants them down into the water. Beautifully done. And here's Richard Wallace, who runs 800 and 1500 metres for Notts Athletics Club, well clear in second place. But Marion under that last net. It'll feel very heavy on her shoulders at the moment after all the effort she's put in, but she's well ahead of Richard Wallace here. He'll never catch her now, though he's run a very fine race as well, and that's a nice splash down into the water. But here comes Marion Chanter, drags herself out under that net and heads for the line, and across she comes and gets 10 points, and she'll be very pleased with herself. Andy Bruno coming down now, and Niall Laverty just behind. This is a great battle now for third place. And Andy, that's a terrible landing in the water. Let's have a look at Niall on the far side, and that is brilliant. Lifts his feet up and completely clears the water. But Richard Wallace from Nottingham comes across now in second place, and 6 points to him. And what a battle this is going to be for third place. In red nearest to us, Andy Bruno from Manchester. In blue on the right from Belfast, Niall Laverty. They come out of that net absolutely together, and they head for the line, and they cross it together as well. What a finish. And right away, I can confirm that Andy and Niall dead heated for third place. We just couldn't separate them. But I'd also like to congratulate Marion, not just on winning, but her time was the fastest so far in the series. It beat Lynn Dunn from Heat 1, so she is now a favourite to lift that special trophy for the fastest woman on the assault course at the end of the series. Right now, we shall add the points won there to the totals in the scoreboard. Out in front with a Krypton Factor of 30, the baker from Cornwall, Marion Chanter. Still wide open as we move into the round that does to the mind what the assault course does to the body. The contestants have to think quickly on their feet to solve one of our complex two-dimensional puzzles. And contestants, tonight you assume the role of air traffic controllers. Congestion is heavy at your airport, and you must stack 4 aircraft in the sky before bringing them in. This is a pass-along test, and your task is to manoeuvre the blocks in such a way that your 4 aircraft are stacked according to their height off the ground and the amount of fuel left. Are you all ready? The test starts now. Well, you'll have seen from our example that the order of stacking from the bottom up is the blue plane, then yellow, then the green and the red on top. But of course the contestants didn't have the advantage of seeing that. They have to work the order out by comparing the 4 different fuel gauges and altimeters. The plane with the least fuel will be